Have you ever waited so long for something that you thought it would never happen? That was Zechariah, an old priest, faithful but weary, waiting for a prayer he had almost forgotten he prayed. The world felt quiet. For over 400 years, there had been no prophets, no messages from heaven. The people of Israel still clung to the ancient prophecies of a coming Messiah, but many wondered if God had gone silent forever. In those days, during the reign of King Herod, a priest named Zechariah served God faithfully. He belonged to the division of Abijah, one of the groups assigned to care for the temple. Zechariah and his wife, Elizabeth, were righteous before God, walking blamelessly in all his commandments. But they carried a heavy sadness. They had no children, and now they were old. It was Zechariah's turn to offer incense in the temple, a once-in-a-lifetime honor for a priest. The air was still and heavy with reverence as he entered the holy place. Outside, a great crowd gathered, praying as the incense smoke rose to heaven. Zechariah's footsteps echoed as he approached the golden altar. The flickering light of the lamps cast shadows against the stone walls. Suddenly, he froze. There, beside the altar, stood a figure, a being so radiant, it filled the temple with light. "Do not be afraid, Zechariah," the angel said, his voice like the sound of rushing water, gentle but strong. Zechariah's heart pounded in his chest. "Your prayer has been heard. Your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you shall name him John. He will bring joy and delight to you, and many will rejoice at his birth, for he will be great before the Lord. He will turn the hearts of fathers to their children and prepare the way for the Lord." The words hung in the air. A son, a miracle, promise fulfilled. Zechariah's voice trembled. How? He wanted to believe, but the years of waiting had weighed him down. "How can I be sure of this?" Zechariah asked. "I am an old man, and my wife is well along in years." The angel's expression grew firm. "I am Gabriel. I stand in the presence of God, and I have been sent to speak to you and to tell you this good news. But because you did not believe my words, which will come true at their appointed time, you will remain silent and unable to speak until the day this happens." The room grew still again. Zechariah opened his mouth to respond, but no words came. He tried again, nothing. The angel had vanished, but the promise remained. Outside, the crowd began to murmur. Zechariah had been inside for too long. What had happened? When he finally emerged, his face was pale, his eyes wide with wonder. He raised his hands to bless the people, but no sound escaped his lips. The crowd gasped. Something had happened in the temple. Zechariah motioned with his hands, trying to explain, but no one understood. Silently, he returned home. In the days that followed, the impossible became reality. Elizabeth, barren and aged, conceived a child. For 5 months, she remained in seclusion, whispering praises to God. "The Lord has done this for me," she said, her eyes shining with tears. "In these days, he has shown his favor and taken away my disgrace among the people." The silence was breaking. The time of waiting was coming to an end. God was on the move again. Sometimes, like Zechariah, we grow weary in waiting. Doubt creeps in, and we wonder if God still hears us. But God's promises never fail, even when they seem delayed. Are there prayers you have given up on? Remember, God works in his perfect timing, and when he moves, it changes everything. Hold on to faith, for the silence does not mean God is absent.